26. Dear Kiddo, take my hand into darkness. Mom gaslights me about dancing at the Cave Singers concert. Gaslighting, kiddo, is like being invited to a carnival, only to realize you're the main attraction in the House of Mirrors. It's disorienting, maddening, and occasionally hilarious if you're able to step back and appreciate the absurdity. And when it comes to gaslighting, your grandmother is a virtuoso, a maestro conducting a symphony of bewilderment. Let me tell you about the time she managed to convince herself, and attempted to convince me, that I thought people who liked dancing were stupid. It all started with a band, the Cave Singers, to be specific. They were playing at Santa Fe Brewing Company, and I thought it would be fun to take Mom out for the night. She was in one of her moods, the kind where she decides she's fun and free-spirited, despite having the demeanor of a particularly judgmental Victorian aunt most of the time. So, I figured, live music, a couple of beers, good vibes, what could go wrong? The night started fine. We grabbed a table near the back, and the band was fantastic. Their music had this earthy, folky vibe that made you want to sway along, or, in Mom's case, dance like you're auditioning for a yogurt commercial. She was twirling, bouncing, and flailing in a way that was equal parts endearing and mildly concerning. Meanwhile, I was content to hang back at the table, nursing my beer and enjoying the music. But Mom wasn't having it. "Come dance with me," she said, already halfway through an impromptu pirouette. "I'm good," I replied, gesturing to the drink in my hand as if it was a legally binding excuse. She tried again. "Come on, it's fun. It's freeing. Now, kiddo." Here's where I might have miscalculated. With my tongue firmly planted in my cheek, I said something that would go down in the annals of Mom misinterpretations. I don't really like communal ecstatic experiences. Now, this is true. I've never been a fan of group activities that require everyone to lose themselves in a shared moment. Dancing, religious revivals, drum circles, none of it is my jam. I like my joy quiet, my transcendence personal. But apparently Mom heard that sentence, threw it into a mental blender, and came out with, "Dancing is for stupid people." I didn't realize this right away. The rest of the night passed uneventfully. Well, as uneventfully as it can when your mom is trying to start a conga line in the middle of a brewery. But a few weeks later, she brought it up during a completely unrelated conversation. She said, her tone accusatory, "it's so judgmental to think people who like dancing are stupid." I blinked. "What? That's what you said," she insisted. "No, I didn't," I replied. "I said I don't like communal ecstatic experiences. That's completely different." But she wasn't having it. "It's the same thing," she said, crossing her arms. "You think you're better than people who dance?" "Mom, that's not even remotely what I said," I protested. "I never said people who like dancing are stupid. I just said it's not my thing." "Well, that's how it sounded," she shot back. And this, kiddo, is where the gaslighting began in earnest. From that moment on, it became a recurring theme in our conversations. Anytime the topic of dancing, or even fun, came up, she'd find a way to throw it in my face. "I'm sure you think this is stupid," she'd say, pointing at a group of people having a good time. "What are you talking about?" I'd ask, genuinely confused. Because people who dance are dumb." Cue my exasperated sigh. "Mom, I never said that. Not once. You're remembering it wrong." But she wouldn't let it go. And the thing about Mom's particular brand of gaslighting is that it's so relentless, so persistent, that you start to question your own memory. Did I say something that sounded like that? Did I imply it? Maybe I've just forgotten. Maybe I'm the crazy one. This happened dozens of times. And before I understood that Mom's brain was a labyrinth of distorted logic and selective memory, I spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to untangle it. I'd find myself revisiting the original conversation, walking her through it step by step like I was giving a courtroom deposition. "Let's go over this again," I'd say. "I said I don't like communal ecstatic experiences. That's not a judgment on dancing. It's just a statement about my personal preferences. People who like dancing are free to enjoy it. I just don't want to participate." But no matter how many times I explained, she'd come back with the same accusation. "You think people who dance are stupid." It was like arguing with a magic 8-ball stuck on Outlook, not so good. Eventually, I gave up. I realized that trying to correct Mom's warped version of events was like trying to bail water out of a sinking ship with a pasta strainer. There was no winning. The story had been cemented in her mind, and no amount of logic or reasoning was going to dislodge it. So now, kiddo, whenever I hear the words communal, ecstatic experience, I can't help but laugh, because it reminds me of the time I accidentally started a feud with your grandmother over dancing. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. When it comes to mom, reality is flexible, memory is optional, and sometimes you just have to let the crazy train roll right past you. Take my hand into darkness, kiddo, because if you ever find yourself in a similar situation, remember this. You're not crazy, but good luck convincing her of that.